This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
.45, this is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Lal Malavarachi and read by Lavani Vijayatunga. First, we take a look at the headlines. Newly received Oxford AstraZeneca vaccines will be administered in the Western Province from today. The Ministry of Public Administration has sent out a circular calling all public servants to work as usual from tomorrow. Interprovincial bus and train services will resume from today. Japan will give its full support for the future development program of Sri Lanka. COVID death toll in Sri Lanka surpasses 4,440. Non-biodegradable polythene will be banned from today. In news overseas, top US prosecutors hit by suspected Russian hack. And in sports news, China leads the Olympic medals table with 21 gold medals. Those were the headlines, and now we move on to the details of the local news. Health Minister Pavitra Vanniyarachchi has announced the vaccination centres that will roll out the newly received Oxford AstraZeneca vaccines from today. Accordingly, these vaccinations will be administered in the 18 MOH offices, 5 in the Kalutara district and 15 in the Gampar district, as well as 13 hospitals and 8 selected locations in the Colombo district. Those who are receiving their second dose of AstraZeneca vaccine are requested to bring their national identity cards and the vaccination card. Army and Tri-Forces will conduct vaccination program at the Vihara Mahadevi Park, Diyatha Uyana, on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. The Army Hospital in Narayanpeta, Verahara Army Camp and Panagoda Bodhiraja Ramaya. The Ministry of Public Administration has issued a circular calling all public servants to work as usual from tomorrow according to the health guidelines. Accordingly, all circulars issued earlier to call a limited number of staff on alternative basis and to work from home have been cancelled. If an official has been subjected to quarantine, that period should be considered as a time with a salary payment. The government has taken this decision to maintain the public services efficiently as usual. The government urges the public servants to give more efficient service to the public. State Minister for Transport Dilum Amanugama says interprovincial bus and train services will resume from today in compliance with the health guidelines. However, the public transport services will be up and running only in the morning and evening, the State Minister noted. He further said that the buses and trains are resuming operations to provide services to the public servants who are called back to work from tomorrow. Meanwhile, the government announced that all state sector employees will be recalled to duty as usual from next month in order to restore normalcy in the public service. The Sri Lanka Transport Board has been instructed to carry out passengers only up to the seating capacity. The State Minister said, stressing that they were further directed to adhere to the health guidelines. Private passenger transport buses will also be allowed to function from today. This is the news from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Sri Lanka Insurance, like a father, like a mother.
And we continue with more local news. Finance Minister met the ambassadors of 6 countries. Accordingly, he met the ambassadors of Japan, the Netherlands, Malaysia, Indonesia and Qatar, together with Afghanistan and the Ministry of Finance, and discussed on the future activities. Japanese ambassador to Sri Lanka, Akira Sujiyami, said that Japan will give its fullest support for the future development programs of Sri Lanka under 5 sections. Several development programs are already being implemented in Sri Lanka under the investment of Japan. New Kalani Bridge project, the second phase of the development project of Bandaranaike International Airport are among it. The Japanese ambassador also emphasized that Japan's willingness to provide assistance to the implementation of renewable energy energy program. Japan is also expected to introduce digital technology program, and Rupavahini will telecast the program. Meanwhile, the ambassador of Afghanistan, Ashraf Haidari, said that he pays his gratitude to the Prime Minister for providing support to his country. He expressed his views that the country is providing support to Sri Lanka continuously. Finance Minister Basil Rajapaksa said that Sri Lanka is following the non-aligned policies under the leadership of the president when acting internationally. He also said the government is dedicated to exchange views in a friendly and mutual understanding manner with all countries. The Director General of Health Services has confirmed 61 more COVID-19 related fatalities that have occurred last Friday. These deaths have pushed the official death toll due to the virus in Sri Lanka to 4,441. According to the data released by the Department of Government Information, the new victims confirmed yesterday include 36 females and 25 males. 42 out of them are over 60 years of age. The Ministry of Health says 2,150 more persons were tested positive for the virus yesterday. These cases have pushed the total number of infections confirmed in the country to date to 308,812. According to the official data, more than 27,000 infected patients are currently under medical care at hospitals and treatment centers across the island. Meanwhile, the number of total recoveries reached 277,118. The Minister of Environment, Mahinda Amaraveera, states that the lunch sheets made of non-degradable polythene will be banned from today. The minister said that the manufacture, transportation and the sale of all types of lunch sheets made out of non-degradable plastic will be banned in the country from today onwards. Moreover, joint raids will be conducted by the Central Environmental Authority, the Consumer Affairs Authority and the Sri Lanka Police to apprehend those who continue to manufacture, transport or sell such products from today as well, the minister added. The Environment Minister emphasized that this decision was taken after taking into consideration the adverse effect to the environment and the health of the public due to non-biodegradable lunch sheets. And to conclude the local news, the headlines once again. Newly received Oxford AstraZeneca vaccines will be administered in the Western Province from today. The Ministry of Public Administration has issued a circular calling all public servants to report to work as usual from tomorrow. Interprovincial bus and train services will resume from today. Japan will give its fullest support for the future development program of Sri Lanka. COVID death toll in Sri Lanka surpasses 4,440. Non-biodegradable polythene will be banned from today. And that was the local news.
The largest bonus declared in the history of the Sri Lankan insurance industry. Sri Lanka Insurance Grand Bonus, an unmatchable bonus of 8.6 billion rupees only for Sri Lanka Insurance life policy holders from the nation's largest insurer. Call 0112-357-357 for more details. Sri Lanka Insurance, like a father, like a mother.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The main news story for this morning, Health Ministry's National Dengue Control Unit reports a significant increase in the number of dengue patients across the country during the first half of this year compared to last year. Several districts in the country have been identified as dengue hotspots, and dengue cases are more prevalent in Colombo, Gampaha, Kalutara, Kurunegala, Kandy, Mathura, Ratnapura, Kagala, Gaul and the Hambantota districts than in the other districts NDCU mentioned. So far in the year 2021, that's up to July 29th, 16,497 dengue patients have been reported, and among them, 2,997 patients were reported in June and 3,029 in the month of July. About 70% of the dengue patients reported from the island are from the Western Province. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
And we move on to Watchlight. Director of the Family Health Bureau, Dr. Chitramali De Silva, said that a COVID-infected mother can breastfeed her child. If such mothers are at hospitals, they will be provided with the facilities to secure stay securely together without separating the mother and the child. She said that pregnant women who are suffering from the illnesses should immediately attend the clinics and get vaccinated. That was the Watchlight, and now we move on to the headlines of the world news. Top U.S. prosecutors hit by suspected Russian hack. Israel accuses Iran over deadly oil tanker attack. UK military opens first Space Command Center. Those were the headlines, and now we move on to the details of the world news. Nearly 30 top U.S. prosecutors had their officers' email accounts hacked during a major breach last year, the Justice Department says. The attack on users of the software SolarWinds, which the U.S. has blamed on Russia, was the worst ever cyber espionage attack on the U.S. government. The government says 27 U.S. attorneys had at least one office computer hacked. That has raised fears that the hackers may have accessed sensitive information, including the names of informants. Israel has accused Iran of being behind the attack on an oil tanker in which 2 crew members, a British national and a Romanian citizen, were killed. The MV Mercer Street, operated by the London-based company Zodiac Maritime, was off Oman's coast in the Arabian Sea when the incident occurred on Thursday. The company, which belongs to Israeli shipping magnate Eyal Ofer, said it was working to establish what happened. Iran has not commented on the Israeli foreign minister's allegations. The UK military has launched its first command center aimed at protecting the country's interests in space. Space Command at RAF High Wycombe will help the UK maintain the battle-winning advantage in this increasingly important domain, the government says. The UK is spending an additional £1.4 billion on space capabilities over the next 10 years. It comes as a senior UK military commander criticized China and Russia for reckless behavior in space. And to conclude the world news, the headlines once again. Top U.S. prosecutors hit by suspected Russian hack. Israel accuses Iran over deadly oil tanker attack. UK military opens first Space Command Center. And that was the world news.
Development News is brought to you by
Quality matters than price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melba RB500. It's made with virgin billets using the latest technology. Melba RB500, number 1 in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
And in development news, the sacred pinnacle with the crest gem of the Sandhirasaya will parade through the country from the 8th of this month, commencing from the Gangarame Temple in Colombo. Defense Secretary General Kamal Gunaratne said that the Sandhirasaya, the second tallest chaitya in the country, next to the Ruanvali Mahasaya, will be declared open on November 18th, 2021. He said the sacred pinnacle and the crest gem will be unveiled during this ceremony. The construction of the Sandhirasaya was initiated under the presidency of the current Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, when the current President Gotabaya Rajapaksa was a defense secretary, in honor of the brave soldiers who had laid down their lives and sacrificed their limbs to liberate the country from the clutches of the LTTE. The ambitious project was initiated in the year 2010 and will be completed by November this year. And that came to you in the segment of Development News.
Development News was brought to you by
Quality matters than price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melba RB500. It's made with virgin billets using the latest technology. Melba RB500, number 1 in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
Moving on to sports news, Elaine Thompson-Hare became the second fastest woman in history as she beat fellow Jamaican Shelly Ann Fraser-Price to retain her Olympic 100-meter title. The 29-year-old ran in 10.61 seconds, a new Olympic record, and just 0.12 seconds short of the world record set by the USS Florence Griffith Joyner in the year 1988. Sherika Jackson completed the Jamaican 1-2-3 in Tokyo with a time of 10.76, 0.2 seconds behind Fraser-Price. Great Britain's Daryl Nita finished 8th with 11.12 seconds. China leads the Olympics medal table with 21 gold, 13 silver and 12 bronze medals. Japan is in the second place with 17 gold, 17 silver and 8 bronze. The US has bagged 16 gold, 17 silver and 13 bronze to secure the third place, and India has only won 1 bronze medal. That was the sports news. Business news coming up.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
In business news, Chairman of Sri Lanka Vehicle Importers Association, Indika Sampath, says that businessmen in Japan who export vehicles from Japan to Sri Lanka have expressed willingness to provide credit for 2 years. He said that they expect to hold discussions with the finance minister in the future. He further said that they are prepared to hand over a project plan to import vehicles which can earn foreign currency to the country. That was the business news. Economic news follows.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
And in economic news, Nuwara Coffee Export Processing Villages program commenced under the patronage of Minister Bandula Gunavartana. Sri Lanka Export Development Board is implementing this program. The program will initially target Nuwara, Kandy, Matale, Kagala and the Badula districts to produce high-quality coffee targeting the export market. 500,000 Lak Parakum coffee saplings are scheduled to be distributed among the selected families. The program is implemented with a target to earn $10 billion by the year 2025. It is also expected to launch 300 villages to produce coffee for export. That is economic news and the weather report to conclude.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
And finally, the weather report. The Met Department says several spells of showers will occur in the Sabaragamuwa province and in the Nuwara and Kandy districts. A few showers may occur in the Western province and in the Gaul and Matara districts. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in the Uva and Eastern provinces during the evening or night. Fairly strong winds up to 50 km per hour can be expected in the western slopes of the Central Hills and the Hambantota district. And that was the weather report.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
And before we conclude this bulletin of news, let's get back to the headlines once again. Newly received Oxford AstraZeneca vaccines will be administered in the Western Province from today. The Ministry of Public Administration has issued a circular calling all public servants to work as usual from tomorrow. Interprovincial bus and train services will resume from today. Japan will give its fullest support for the future development program of Sri Lanka. COVID death toll in Sri Lanka surpasses 4,440. Non-biodegradable polythene will be banned from today. In news overseas, top US prosecutors hit by suspected Russian hack. And in sports news, China leads the Olympics medal table with 21 gold medals. And with that, we conclude this bulletin of news.